Positive space for a healthy and positive life. Parents usually avoid speaking out about their issues and problems to children. It is important to observe their behavior and take note of any changes in attitude and daily activities. If you notice that your elderly parents are struggling with activities like driving or managing finances, or if they're uncharacteristically anxious or withdrawn, it may be a sign that they need help. In this video, we are going to show you how to tell if your parent needs help and what to do if they do. Number 1. Watch for changes in your parent's appearance or behavior. Being elderly can bring a lot of changes and surprises that your elderly parents may not be prepared for. It's important to pay close attention to any shifts in their appearance and behavior, as it could indicate that they need some help. Sometimes elderly parents may be having difficulty performing certain tasks, or simply feel overwhelmed taking care of themselves. Keep an eye out for signs such as increased fatigue, uneven gait, forgetfulness and unusual mood swings, so you can provide them with the support and assistance they need. Your elderly parents' health, safety and happiness should always be priorities in your life. Any significant changes or sudden onset of forgetfulness may be signs that your parent needs help. It's a good idea to keep track of these changes and talk to them about it if you're concerned. Number 2. Take notice of whether your parent is eating and drinking enough. If they seem to be eating and drinking less than usual, it might be a sign of depression or even the onset of dementia. It's important to keep an eye on this and make sure your parent is getting the nutrition they need. Number 3. If you're noticing that your elderly parent is struggling to complete everyday tasks, they may need help. If your parent is having a hard time with daily activities like cooking, cleaning, and personal hygiene, it might be time to get them some help. Number 4. Observe how well your parent can get around their home and whether they're safe living alone. Watch for signs of difficulty with walking or climbing the stairs. Also, look out for any potential safety hazards and make sure your parent's living environment is safe and comfortable. Number 5. Note if your parent seems confused or lost, especially about time or place. If elderly parents start to appear confused or disoriented, especially about time or place, it can be difficult for their children. It's important to remain compassionate during these moments and remember that this is a normal part of aging. Taking note of any confusion or disorientation will ensure that elderly parents receive the best care possible and ultimately result in more meaningful days together. If your parent seems to be forgetting things and getting confused, it might be time for them to get some help. Number 6. Listen for any complaints about pain, dizziness, shortness of breath, or other health concerns. Elderly parents may be hesitant to speak up about any physical complaints or health concerns, but it is important that their children listen closely for any signs that something might be wrong. Pain, dizziness, and shortness of breath are all signs of a larger problem and should not be taken lightly. Parents may put on a brave face but should not be ignored if they are experiencing any of these issues. It can be difficult as an adult child to measure how serious the issue is, but being open and listening carefully is the best way to ensure elderly parents remain safe and healthy. Number 7. Pay attention to how often your parent falls asleep unintentionally. Be aware of any sudden changes in sleeping habits. If your elderly parent is sleeping more than usual or falling asleep at odd times, it can be a sign that their health is declining. It's important to check in if you notice anything unusual and take steps to help them get the rest they need. Number 8. Keep track of how much medication your parent is taking and whether they're following doctor's advice. If your elderly parent is taking medication, make sure you are aware of how much and when they should be taking it. It can also be helpful to check in with their doctor from time to time to ensure their treatment plan is still effective. By keeping track of your parents' health and well-being, you can help keep them. Number 9. Keep an eye out for any physical changes, such as bruises or cuts. As we age, our bodies become more fragile and susceptible to injury. If you notice any bruises or cuts on your elderly parent's body, it could be a sign that they are having difficulty with balance or coordination. It is important to pay attention to these signs and investigate further if needed. Finally, number 10, monitor their use of alcohol. Keep track of any alcohol and tobacco used by your elderly parent. Both can have an adverse effect on health, so it's important to be aware of how much they are consuming. If you suspect that your parent is drinking or smoking too much, talk to a doctor about ways to help them cut back. In conclusion, it is important to keep track of your elderly parents' health and well-being in order to ensure they remain safe and healthy. Pay attention to changes in behavior, physical condition, sleeping habits, and even alcohol or tobacco consumption. By taking note of any warning signs and seeking help where needed, you can make sure that your elderly parent has the best quality of life possible. Thanks for watching. Subscribe and like to feel more positiveness in your life.